No room for regrets. Thanking God for placing you in my beautiful life forever. There are moments in life that arrive quietly, without warning, without grand announcements, and without any indication that they are about to change everything. They slip into our days gently, disguised as ordinary conversations, simple smiles, or unexpected encounters. At first, we fail to understand their importance. We continue living as we always have, unaware that destiny has already begun writing a new chapter. Then one day, we look back and realize that everything changed from the moment you entered my life. If someone had told me years ago that one person could bring so much light into my world, I would have doubted it. I would have believed that happiness was temporary, that people come and go, and that eventually everyone leaves carrying pieces of our hearts with them. But meeting you challenged every belief I once held. You arrived not as a storm, but as a peaceful sunrise after countless nights of uncertainty. You brought warmth into places within me that had grown cold from disappointment. You offered comfort to wounds I never spoke about. You gave meaning to moments that once felt empty, and now, as I reflect upon everything we have shared, I realize there is absolutely no room for regrets, not a single one. I do not regret the days I waited for someone who would truly understand me, because those days taught me patience. I do not regret the heartbreaks that once made me question love, because they prepared my heart to appreciate someone as genuine as you. I do not regret the tears I shed in loneliness, because they helped me recognize the value of companionship when you finally appeared. Instead of regrets, my heart is filled with gratitude. Gratitude for every difficult season. Gratitude for every unanswered prayer. Gratitude for every closed door, because if even one event in my past had happened differently, perhaps our paths would never have crossed. Perhaps we would have remained strangers. Perhaps I would have spent years searching for something I had already been destined to find in you. And that thought alone makes me thankful beyond words, thankful to God for orchestrating events that I could never understand at the time, thankful for divine timing, thankful for protection, thankful for guidance, thankful for blessings hidden inside delays. Sometimes we ask God why certain things don't work out. We wonder why relationships end, why opportunities disappear, why plans collapse, why people walk away, why dreams remain incomplete. But maybe the answer is much simpler than we imagine. Maybe God sees the entire picture while we only see one small corner of it. Maybe He knows exactly who belongs in our story. Maybe He removes those who cannot appreciate our hearts because He intends to send someone who will treasure them completely. And perhaps that person was always meant to be you. You became proof that beautiful things happen when we stop forcing outcomes and begin trusting the process. You taught me that love does not always arrive dramatically. Sometimes love arrives quietly. It asks how your day went. It listens patiently. It remembers small details. It notices when your smile is not genuine. It stays, even during difficult conversations, even during misunderstandings, even during moments when giving up seems easier than holding on. Real love chooses consistency. Real love chooses understanding. Real love chooses forgiveness. And you embody all those qualities. there are countless reasons why I thank God for placing you in my life. I thank Him because your presence has shown me a version of happiness I had never experienced before, a happiness that feels safe, a happiness that doesn't require pretending, a happiness that allows me to be imperfect without fear. With you, I do not have to hide my flaws. I do not need to wear masks. I do not need to become someone else to earn affection. I can simply be myself. And somehow, that version of me is enough. That realization is incredibly powerful, in a world where so many people spend years trying to fit into expectations created by others. Finding someone who accepts your authentic self feels miraculous. You remind me that love should never feel like an audition. It should feel like coming home, and every conversation with you feels exactly like that. Home, not a physical place, but an emotional sanctuary, a place where worries lose their power, a place where silence feels comfortable, a place where honesty is welcomed, a place where dreams are encouraged, a place where hearts can rest. I know life will not always be easy. There will be challenges, unexpected obstacles, moments of frustration, days when exhaustion overshadows excitement. But even then, I believe gratitude should remain stronger than fear, because love is not measured by how perfect circumstances become. Love is measured by how willing two people are to remain together when circumstances become imperfect. And if I had to choose between a flawless life without you and an uncertain journey with you beside me, I would choose the journey every single time, because people like you are rare, people who inspire growth, people who encourage healing, people who motivate others to become better versions of themselves, people who remind us that kindness still exists, people who make ordinary moments unforgettable. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your compassion. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your laughter. Thank you for believing in me during moments when I struggled to believe in myself. Thank you for reminding me that I deserve happiness. Thank you for teaching me that love does not have to hurt in order to be real. Most importantly, thank you for simply existing, because your existence changed my perspective. It transformed uncertainty into hope, fear into courage, sadness into peace, doubt into faith, and for that reason, I will continue thanking God every single day, not because life suddenly became perfect, but because amidst an imperfect world, He allowed me to encounter someone whose heart feels extraordinarily beautiful. Someone worth cherishing, someone worth protecting, someone worth appreciating, someone worth praying for, someone worth celebrating, someone worth choosing over and over again, forever. There is no room for regrets anymore, only appreciation, only admiration, only gratitude, only prayers asking God to bless you abundantly, to protect your dreams, to strengthen your spirit, to heal your worries, to multiply your joy, to surround you with peace, and to remind you every day that your presence matters more than you realize. Because some people merely pass through our lives, others leave footprints, but a very special few leave gardens behind. Gardens filled with hope, gardens filled with kindness, gardens filled with unforgettable memories, gardens that continue blooming long after difficult seasons end. You are one of those rare souls, and I thank God endlessly for allowing our paths to meet, for allowing our hearts to recognize one another, for allowing our stories to intertwine, for allowing me the privilege of experiencing a connection so meaningful that even years from now, I know I will still look back and smile, not with regret, but with overwhelming gratitude, because loving you has become one of the most beautiful blessings I have ever received, and if I had the chance to relive my entire life again, would willingly walk through every hardship, every disappointment, every unanswered question, and every lonely night, just to arrive at this same destination, a place where your presence exists, a place where your smile shines, a place where your heart continues inspiring mine, a place where gratitude outweighs every sorrow. A place where love remains stronger than fear, a place where God answered prayers I never even knew I was praying, and for that, I will